Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got Bert the Hurt and Elle over here, and we're ready to bring you the best dividend news that we think is going to happen. Dividend increases in January 2021.
We love it, everybody. It's our favorite topic, so we can't wait to talk about some dividend increases coming up here. But before we do that, please smash the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribing to our channel. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Every thumbs up and every piece of support helps us as we continue to grow that YouTube channel, grow that subscriber base, and keep bringing you new dividend news and happenings, because God, do we love dividend investing, and we get so pumped up when companies increase their dividend.
And January 2021 is going to be nothing short of that. This is going to be an jam-packed month. In fact, we're talking about 7 dividend stocks that are set to increase their dividend potentially this month. So we're going to try to get through it as efficiently and as effectively as we can. We'll start with a recap of what happened in December. We'll take maybe 2 minutes to do that. Then we're going to dive right into 7 companies that may increase their dividend this month. So Bert, do you want to recap kind of the big dividend news that happened in the month of December as a way of dividend increases?
Yeah, dividend increases were insane in December. It's continued that trend that dividends are back. We've been talking about this for months now on our YouTube channel. Everybody, you know it. But every week we've talked about dividend increases, but December was no different. Early in 2020, companies cut, they suspended their dividends as they ran into issues with cash flow due to the pandemic. Obviously, not faulting anyone, but it's frustrating as a dividend investor seeing your dividend income step backwards. Fourth quarter, though, dividends came just roaring back. So here we are, and December was another piece of evidence that these dividend companies are coming back. Some of our favorite increases from the month of December were Abbott Laboratories, who announced a massive 25% increase in their dividend. That's
Wow.
huge. That was their 49th consecutive dividend, too. So they are almost that dividend king, which is a very cool title to have. MasterCard announced a 10% dividend increase. Then we had a lot of companies in the pharmaceutical sector, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Bristol Myers Squibb, all announced strong, solid dividend increases, too. So those were some of the big featured items we wanted to talk about, too. And there were also some dividend increases that were just surprises to us, too. Darden Restaurants was one of them. Out of nowhere, I got a text from Lanny saying, dude, Darden increased their dividend by 23%. Insanity. But they weren't the only one. Campbell Soup, Amgen, and a lot of banks announced dividend increases, too. So can you guys catch on to the trend here? Dividend increases were plentiful here in December, and it was great to see so many different companies increase their dividend, and hopefully as shareholders increase your passive income stream.
Sadly, AT&T was the one lone wolf that said we're going to pass on increasing our dividend back in December. So, we have high hopes for them for 2021, in addition to all the other dividend stocks that we are here to talk about. Here for January 2021. So what Bert does every single month is he comes out with a nice blog article with more details. So feel free to click the link in the description and go see the blog post. Again, we've been writing for going on 7 years now at the blog. So this month, again, Bert's coming in with the hammer, bringing in dividend stocks that are set to increase here in January 2021. I'll kick it off with the first one because it's actually one of our top 5 foundation stocks for your dividend stock portfolio. So the first dividend stock we're here to talk about that is set to increase their dividend is Consolidated Edison, ticker symbol ED. And again, when you think of light bulbs, electricity, you think of good old Thomas. And Consolidated Edison is one of those long-term legacy companies, been around for almost 200 years, and they increased their dividend for almost 50 straight years. So they're on their way to becoming, as Bert said earlier, years as a dividend king. So Con Ed cannot wait to get there. Last year they increased their dividend about a little north of 3%, which is right in line with that 5-year average dividend growth rate. So we're expecting the same for Con Ed, somewhere north of 3%. And that'll happen somewhere in the middle of January. So Con Ed, first dividend stock, ticker symbol ED, 3+% dividend growth rate, or 2 times the rate of inflation is our expectation.
I couldn't agree with that expectation more. Dividend stock number 2 on the list is Kimberly-Clark. And why am I smiling at this? Lanny here is always talking about Depends and diapers here on our YouTube channel. He will constantly bring it up, joke around about it. Now, it's nice to see that company that he always jokes about increase their dividend here in the month of January. So they are similar to Con Ed. They are on the doorstep of becoming that dividend king. And they've increased their dividend for 46 consecutive years. So yeah, they're right in line with Con Ed. And we're not expecting anything to change in January. Consumer staples have been strong during the pandemic and after the pandemic, because people still need all of these products, whether you're staying at home or living your normal, when we return to a post-pandemic life. So this company that owns Huggies, Kleenex, Cottonelle, Depends, yeah, it makes sense that they're going to perform well and their cash flows are going to remain consistent enough where they can increase that dividend. This is actually funny because it's a very similar story to Con Ed. Last year, they announced a 3.9% dividend increase. Their 5-year average dividend growth rate is 4% here. So this company has a consistent dividend track record. So like Con Ed, I'm projecting much of the same. I'm expecting a dividend increase in that 4 to 6% range, but I'm not expecting them to blow our socks off or anything like that. Just consistency is key here for Kimberly-Clark.
Yeah, I'm projecting a 3-cent increase or 2.8%. Seems like Bert's a little more bullish on the KMB. Hopefully he's right. And hopefully I'm wrong. Going into dividend stock number 3 for January 2021, we are looking at another long-term, and Bert, this is another dividend aristocrat.
Yeah, we're coming in with some quality dividend companies here in January. This is fantastic.
The company is Air Product and Chemicals, APD. And no, not the human resource payroll provider, ADP. We're talking about APD. And again, they're huge with chemicals and air products. So they're not one that you see on the shelves. They're not a hot name, not sexy. It's not Tesla. It's not Netflix. It's not AT&T. It's a company really behind the scenes. Surprisingly, though, you kind of like these companies. They're kind of silent, but yet they're deadly for your portfolio, as Bert likes to call it. Now, APD increased their dividend 15% last year. So their 5-year average is over 10%. So given that during a pandemic, APD coming with the big launch of 15% on the increase standpoint is actually very promising. They currently pay $1.34. So don't be surprised if they come in with, something pretty heavy, such as at least north of 8%. I'm saying my floor is about 8%, going from $1.34 to $1.45. But they have potential, and I mean some really strong potential to come out with an increase that takes them from 134 to 150, which would be about a 12% increase. So floor for me is going to be at 8%, and then my ceiling for their increase is 12%. What about you, Bert?
Yep, I just think that's a very reasonable estimate here, and the company yields close to 2%. So 2% with double-digit dividend growth rate, that's great stuff. You can't ask for anything more right now. That for any APD shareholders that we have that are watching this video. Company number 4 is near and dear to Lanny's heart. This is one of his favorite investment companies. I just initiated a position recently as well, so it's new in my portfolio, very old in Lanny's portfolio. Company number 4 that we're expecting that dividend increase, Intel Corporation, ticker symbol INTC. They are the first non-aristocrat on this list. They don't have the longest of dividend growth streaks out there. However, this is going to be a very exciting increase for Intel because this can go in so many different directions. The company's price just came down at the end of the year. They had some news that Microsoft's going to start making some of their own chips. We've covered this in a previous video. We think, it's going to take time. Intel still makes a ton of chips. They're still a market leader in that sector, but who knows how that's going to impact their cash flows going forward? Who also knows what some of the other major news that's happening with the company as well. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with their dividend. They last year increased their dividend 4.5%. Their 5-year average dividend growth rate 6.6%, excuse me. With some of the negative news and sentiment that's been Intel's direction, I'm not expecting a shocking double-digit % dividend increase. I'm probably expecting more in that 4 to 6% range. Nothing too crazy for Intel this year, even though they got a lot of cash on their balance sheet. They could do it if they wanted.
Yeah, I'm calling 2 cent increase from 33 to 35, about 6% is my call.
Yeah, so we're right in line there. Great company. I'm excited. A new investment for me. Pumped to see what they're going to do. Hopefully deliver a nice, strong dividend increase for all of us shareholders out there.
So Bert may be talking about a stock that was near and dear to my heart with number 4, but I'm here to talk about Bert's favorite, Bert's long-term holding. Bert likes to drink some of this in a cup and wonders why his teeth and tongue turns black. We're talking about dividend stock number 5, Chevron Corporation, ticker symbol CVX. Oil. We know oil in 2020. At one point, there was a negative price per on the future contract for that price per barrel of oil. And, they have recovered over the second half of 2020. But, the question is have they recovered enough? And, you saw some stock price appreciation. You did see the price per barrel of oil go well over $40 per barrel, which is promising. I know the price at the pump, was finishing near that $2.30 per gallon mark out there. Now, Chevron, Bert, did they increase their dividend in 2020?
They did. They announced the dividend increase at the beginning of the year.
How much was that increase?
It was 8.4%. They were one of the few oil companies because when the timing of all the oil price collapsing was after they announced their dividend increase last January. So that's why you see it looks as if Chevron is bucking the trend of increasing dividends last year, but they did it right before. I'm sure in hindsight, management was probably kicking themselves because you had Shell, you had BP cut their dividend there in the second quarter, even though Shell had a nice little comeback there. Not the best time dividend increase for a company that saw their top line revenue collapse as the price of oil fell, but they did increase their dividend nonetheless. And they were, along with Exxon, one of the few major integrated oil companies that maintained their dividend in 2020. So they didn't cut their dividend. They're hanging on tight. They're not letting go of their dividend at the current levels. I'm really not expecting much of a dividend increase here in 2021. If they do anything, Exxon passed on announcing their dividend increase when they typically do. I believe it's in September. So I'm not expecting Chevron to announce anything very large here in January.
Yeah, and actually, I know Bert said Exxon usually does it in September. They actually usually do it in April for Exxon. So
whoops. Yep, a little wrong on that one.
A little. Just wanted to at least let people know that Exxon forgo their increase last year in April. Now Chevron at the end of January, I'm expecting them to do a 1 cent increase.
Yeah.
$1.29 to $1.30, a 0.7% increase on a heavy yielding oil company. What do you think, Bert?
Yep. If they increase it, it's not going to be very much. It's not going to be last year's 8.4% dividend increase. I can guarantee you that.
And just to recap kind of where we're at, the first company was Con Ed, Consolidated Edison, ticker symbol ED. The second company was Kimberly-Clark, ticker symbol KMB. The third company was Air Products and Chemicals, ticker symbol APD. Fourth company we talked about so far is Intel, INTC. The fifth company has been Chevron at CVX. And Bert, what is that sixth dividend stock here that could increase dividend this month?
Yeah, we have Comcast, ticker symbol CMCSA. That is a long ticker symbol for Comcast right there. But Comcast is about to get a brand new revenue source here because they just launched NBC Peacock. Yeah, they are the parent company for Peacock. And for all of us fellow Office fans out there that are pissed off that The Office is now moving off Netflix and behind a new streaming service paywall, that's great news for Comcast here because they're going to get some new subscribers. They're going to get some people paying that to see a lot of their new content, The Office, Parks and Rec, all those great shows there. Last year, Comcast announced that 9.5% dividend increase, so it's very strong and very solid. Their 5-year average growth rate, 13.2%. So I'm assuming here Comcast is going to make that nice, strong dividend increase announcement at the end of the month here. So it'll be interesting to see. Projections probably in line with last year, 10% from me. I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other, any firm projections. My gut says it'll be right in line with last year at that 10%. What do you think, Lanny?
Well, I mean, it's pretty interesting with their Peacock platform. They have, a free type of version for Peacock. And then they have the $5 with ads version for Peacock. Then you have a $10 with limited ads version. So they're trying to give the consumer quite a few options. Given that their dividend growth rate was almost 10% last year, double digit 5-year average growth rate, I'm going to go on a whim and say they're going to go from 23 cents per share per quarter to 25 cents, which represents almost 9% dividend increase. So I'm going to give them that head nod, 2 cent, almost 9%.
Yep, perfect, Lanny. So last but definitely not least, we're bringing this company forward. AT&T, ticker symbol T. So they shocked us all by not announcing a dividend increase last month. So why are they on here once again? Well,
Bert
AT&T
has him on here because he switched to AT&T. That motherfucker.
Yep, no, that is not why. But when they didn't announce their dividend in December, AT&T said that they have their big Investor Day presentation at the end of January, where they're going to be making some major announcements. We talked about this in our last video that we published on our YouTube channel. Here we're going to talk about AT&T. But in this Investor Day, they're going to talk about their new path going forward, their new capital allocation strategy, and most likely that dividend. So we're going to expect some major news here, and we're assuming there's going to be a dividend increase because they're a dividend aristocrat, and they don't want to lose that title. But who knows, because they didn't announce it when they thought they typically do in December. So let's see. I brought them forward one more time. Don't disappoint us, AT&T, at the end of January, because we're going to be pretty pissed off if you don't announce a dividend increase.
Wow. So there it is. That's the mic drop from Bert, really coming in off the turnbuckle while somebody's down for the count. He's thinking AT&T is coming in with an increase. So hopefully you're right. All the investors hope you're right. I know I hope you're right, Bert. How much do you think they could do?
I don't see why they're going to go away from that 1 cent per quarter increase in their dividend. I don't think they're going to blow anything away, but that would make it about a 2% increase in their dividend right there. They're just going to follow through with their typical plan, in my opinion. Maybe since I'm feeling better now, I'm just being a little more optimistic about what's coming through with AT&T. I have those blue shaded glasses on with the AT&T logo right in the middle, but I'm excited to see what the company is going to do because they also have some exciting other business deals in the pipeline too, as we covered.
Wow. So there you have it. So 7 dividend stocks that could be boosting their dividend this month. Lucky number 7. First, we're coming in hot with Con Ed, dividend aristocrat, probably going to increase their dividend close to 3%. Kimberly-Clark, another dividend aristocrat, coming in hot with probably another 3% dividend increase. Then you've got another dividend aristocrat in number 3, APD, coming in slow and steady at Intel. Could they surprise us with maybe a 6% increase? We'll have to find out. And then Bert's big oil lover, CVX, Chevron, could they continue their dividend streak with an increase this year? I'm thinking 1 cent. What do you think? And then Comcast, another streaming, another network provider. Can they keep up that cash flow momentum? And then Bert's hot take, hot topic, AT&T, rethink possible, coming in potentially with an increase this month. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, so please, everyone, let us know in the comment section, what dividend increases are you expecting? How many of these 7 companies do you own? Which ones do we leave off the list? There's no way we captured every single possible dividend increase, but these are 7 big-time, big-profile companies that we're expecting to announce that dividend increase. And as usual, if you don't subscribe to our channel, please click the subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up if you want us to continue delivering dividend news and dividend increases to all of you on your YouTube channel feed. So thank you, everybody. We're excited. Hopefully 2021 continues right where 2020 left off with the dividend news, and we can keep talking about all these exciting dividend increases.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching. This is Bert and Landy from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.
Over and out.